I'm gonna be so cool. He nails any genre, y'all. And rom-com to sci-fi, anything he's in, I'll watch. Some of his biggest hits include Escape from New York, Backdraft, Overboard, Tombstone, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really wanted to name all the films that I love, but we're gonna keep it tight. We really could name so many. His latest project is called The Madison. It's so good. You can catch it now on Paramount+. Please, everybody say hello to Kurt Russell. Cool. I told myself this morning in bed, I was like, you don't be a tool in front of Kurt Russell. No, congrats on the new show. I love it. The Madison.
You've seen it?
Yes,
Okay.
and honestly, the first episode kind of killed me because it's,
oh, yeah.
well, it killed me for many different reasons, but also I relate a lot to the actual storyline of living here. I have a ranch in Montana, and I'm always like, God, you work so hard to get this beautiful dream of yours, and then you don't even see it.
You can understand why he wants the family to come.
Oh my God, for sure. Even the conversations in New York that happen in the script.
For the people from New York, because there's two characters in this that are very distinctive.
Yeah.
The city of New York and Montana.
Yeah.
And near the Madison River is where they go.
Beautiful.
And they're fish out of water. When they have to go to Montana, they are really. It's like a dramatic version of, Green Acres or something.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
She's like,
anything.
enjoy. I love the line where she was like, Michelle Pfeiffer's character's like, enjoy the hole in the ground that you call a bathroom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. It's bittersweet in so many ways, but it's extremely emotional. And to me, I was excited about reading these scripts. The thing I think that's really unique about it is that his stuff is pretty much male-driven. This is very female-centric.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like his female gaze. Everything's seen through those eyes. And the men that are in it, I just like the way they're written and portrayed, and the women are strong and interesting.
Yeah.
It has authenticity
but
to
also
it.
soft. Yeah, Michelle, her character kills me.
She's great in this, man.
The whole first episode, it was very emotional. Like, because it's setting up the whole, and
it is. It's got some.
I don't want to ruin it, but man, it's so good. Grab your tissues. I have to talk about this because I didn't realize, I did realize you were so young when you started, and all the Disney kind of stuff, I think, early on and everything, but I didn't realize that my son is 9, and he's obsessed with Walt Disney. Okay. And you actually gave advice to Walt Disney?
No.
You didn't? Somebody said that you were little and you had conversations with Walt Disney?
A lot,
like, hey, my son is gonna freak out when I tell him this.
I did have the opportunity because, at lunchtime,
that's not a normal childhood, Kurt.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't think about it. I wasn't even focused on the business.
No, for sure. But you were just hanging with Walt Disney.
Well, I was playing ping pong at lunch with him a lot of times, and sometimes he'd call me over to the table when he was having lunch with somebody, some people and whatnot. And he did, like for instance, one quick one I just thought of. I came to work early one day. My mom was with me, taking me to work, and we were looking at this. We were on Dopey Drive, and we were looking at this kiosk that had this display, it was a artwork with a dome on it. And I was looking at what this was, and I heard this voice behind me say, "What do you think of that?" And it was Mr. Disney. And so I turned, I said, that looks really cool. What is that? He said, I'm going to put a whole city underneath a dome.
Oh my God.
And I said, oh wow, where is it? It's going to be in Florida. That ended up being Epcot and Disney. And I actually had the opportunity years after he died to go to the opening of Disney World. So that was cool stuff.
Oh my gosh. It's so fantastical. It feels like not real. Your life is not real. Because look, where I'm going is crazy as well. I heard you played catch with Elvis on one of your first things you did when you were young. Who are you? You're already you, which is incredible in your life, but you hung out with Elvis. What?
Yeah, well, I actually went on an interview, and I was going to go in on an interview for Twilight Zone. I was 9 or 10 years old, I think. And I knew what Twilight Zone was. I didn't really know a lot about Elvis Presley, but my mom and dad had an album that had his picture on there, so I knew who he was, and I'd heard, some of his songs or something. But I was 10. I didn't, I got the job. So I was that's great. I get to do a Twilight Zone. And while I was waiting for my agent to come pick me up, this man came by and he stopped me and said, "Hey, come here, come with me for a second." And I said, oh, well, you know, like, yeah, okay, where? And he said, I said,
I have
interview.
the best candy in my white van.
I want you to meet, yeah. In those days, you actually got candy. But, you know, so I went in to meet the director of this, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I got the job, and it was to be this kid who kicks Elvis Presley in the shin because he wants to go meet a nurse and have some reason to go meet the nurse.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I got the job. So I was in Seattle for a week doing that, and then in MGM for a week. I don't think I got billed or anything. So, but I had the thing was I had to make a decision between doing Twilight Zone, and I wanted to do Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Oh, my son's
And my
obsessed
agent
with
said,
that
you
too.
should do the movie. You should do the movie. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever you think.
Yeah.
But he was very cool, awesome. He was 27 years old. I remember everything about him. And then I actually played him when I was 27 years old. I played him in the movie only 18 months after he died.
That was a look at his new series from Madison. It's streaming now on Paramount Plus. There's a tribute at the end to Robert Redford, and you also mention A River Runs Through It in the actual first episode. Was that important?
That's all Taylor, you know. It does carry a lot of that weight.
Yeah.
And fly fishing is a big part of it. My grandfather had the first fly fishing only lake in the state of Maine. He had a resort there in Kennebago, outside of Rangeley, Maine. And so I grew up understanding a lot about, you know, fly fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd write down in journals, what the temperature of the water was, temperature of the air, whether it was cloudy or clear, you know, what they had on the line. And so I got all the lore, I understood it. It was kind of fun to work with Matthew Fox, and Matthew's a good fly fisherman. And I've done it a lot. Oliver, my stepson Oliver is a great fly fisherman.
Yeah?
He's really, really good.
I am not.
And so I was supposed to be like, okay, you know what I mean? He's the guy coming from the city, his brother isn't there all the time. But
he keeps giving him for what he's putting on the line. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but it was fun being there doing that. I mean, you know, I don't have to tell you about Montana.
I love it.
Yeah, Montana's cool.
I'm the person that like my sister loves fishing. I love sitting there. I can sit by water. There's a place on my land that I just go and I park my ATV and I just sit there. I can sit there for hours because it's just the running water.
Isn't that what, I mean, but you don't really think about things as much as you do just sort of osmotically reflect and you have the time. You know you have the time.
It's the only time I shut up, man. It's the it's the only time.
You don't talk to the animals? Goldie sings to the cows. She does.
I love that.
Goldie sings to the cat. But it's crazy because she also sings to cats.
Okay.
But here's the thing. They really respond.
Yeah.
The cows come over. When she sings to them, she'll sing, come over. She'll sing to a horse, they're not quite so responsive.
Yeah. They're like, where's my apple? Where's my treat?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, give me my treat. Yeah.
It's fun.
Was there ever something that you thought, I don't know, that you, besides acting, that you'd really get in? You were really into baseball. You were a baseball player.
Ball. Yeah. As a young man, I was gearing up for that, and I played pro ball.
Yeah.
And did sustain a career-ending injury. My dad had done the same thing. He was a ball player, but he wanted to play Cowboys and Indians and baseball only in his life, and that's what he did. He was a Dartmouth grad, so he's not a, you know.
Your family is so cool. Okay.
I had the most fabulous parents you can have. I mean, they got us into car racing when we were all of us were young. My three sisters, Jody, Jill, and Jamie, and we raced cars seriously. I was, you know, very seriously into baseball and assumed that was going to be how I made my living, you know.
The injury.
But then, you know, he was an actor, so that came along, and I was like watching that. Okay, you could make $110 in one day, which would have taken me 2 years on the paper route that I had.
Yeah.
And I got 1 day's work, and I got the 110. I went down and cashed it, and my sister and I went down and got 2 Schwinn bicycles, and I called my dad's agent. I said, "Count me in on this deal."
Yeah.
This is good,
that was
man.
it. I grew up with no money, and they were like, "You'll get paid $100 if you sing the national anthem at some random wrestling thing." I was like,
Yeah.
Can you sing? I was like,
I can do that.
Money in my bank account. I was like, I sure can.
Yeah.
When a guest who is as badass as Kurt comes by, we like to go back through some of their more iconic roles that we grew up with and we love, and just the scenes to hear the stories that they remember from those sets. So this is Scenes and Stories.
Scenes and Stories.
All right. It's It's like a free association exercise. We're going to show a scene from one of Kurt's movies, and he'll tell us a story from that scene, or hopefully you remember it. Okay, so the first one is from Tombstone.
Yeah.
What do you remember about shooting this? Yeah. What do you remember about this or shooting this?
Yeah, it was a very difficult shoot. It's a lot of people's favorite Western.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it has some of the greatest lines in
I'll Be Your
Western.
Huckleberry?
Yeah, I mean, there's 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
And that's nice with Val, who I had a wonderful time with. The cast was great. Listen, it was all good, but a hard shoot.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Why was it the hardest? Because of the location, or?
It was just difficult. We just went through a difficult time it was a fantastic script, and the guy who wrote it was going to direct it, and he just did not have the experience, and they let him go. And from that point on, we had to really work hard, and the movie has a lot of impact. But Tombstone. Yeah, it kind of stands alone. I think to me, I haven't seen it for a long time, actually.
You should check it out.
But I like it.
It holds up, you know. It holds
I saw
up.
Stephen Lang last night.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I haven't run into anybody else for a long, long time.
Yeah. Oh, I think Tombstone and Young Guns. Those are my westerns I watch the most. You know. Oh, they're so good. Anyway, so different. Also has good lines though. Okay, so Overboard. Oh. Before you say anything, wait, here's the thing. This storyline is actually wrong.
It is.
Like, I adored it, and I wanted to be Goldie when I was young, and I'm like, this is actually kind of up.
No, it's...
Yeah.
People don't think about that.
Yes.
That movie's still just funny.
Oh my God, I love it.
But the reason it's funny is based on sexual tension.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because is he actually gonna do this?
Yeah.
No, come on, wait, no. And he's in love when he does.
Oh.
And she's just, how great is Goldie in that movie?
Oh, oh my God.
I mean, that's just,
so good.
nobody can do that.
Oh my God.
I mean, she plays two fabulous characters.
Yeah.
And the second one, she is fake. My favorite thing is when she's lost. For those of you who don't know, she's got amnesia from falling off a boat, and I'm pretending she's my wife because she's been so mean to me, which are right.
Yeah.
So now I've got her sort of in my lair with my 4 horrible sons.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just torturing her. Come on, honey, you got to remember his name.
Oh.
And she looks at him.
You're such a jackass.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
And she goes, and it's one of the greatest takes ever. And she, Roy? And we have a dog now named Roy, and his dog is, when we write it out, it's ROY ...
Oh my God.
He's the Budweiser Lab, by the way, Roy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, last year at the Super Bowl, not this recent one, the one before that, he's the Budweiser Lab, yeah.
Oh my God, that's
He got
cool.
picked out of a bunch of dogs. Yeah.
Aww. I love, that's such a beautiful thing too, like to have just such a huge pop culture moment, but also with someone you love. Like you were part of something together that
was
so,
a great time because she had just had Wyatt about 8 months earlier.
I didn't need to hear that. She looked.
And she was in perfect shape.
I saw her in those swimsuits on that boat. I was like, damn you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's not normal. That's a dancer's body.
I got to make that shot. Gary Marshall, who was directing it. So, because we're completely hating each other, right, at this point. And so now she's walking in this insane string of a baby.
I remember,
He walks by, and so I mean, he can't help but look at that. and it's where things start, right? And so Gary said, I think this POV is your shot. So he gives me the camera. And I'm doing my, look, and I'm following, and I get to shoot the camera. So that's me behind the camera when she bends over. Yeah.
Is that your directorial debut?
My directorial debut.
That's awesome. Oh, I didn't need to know those. She just popped out a child.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
No, I hate her.
Oh,
Okay.
she's a dancer.
So I know. Congrats to you.